men's love is almost predicated on transaction
versus relational.
Versus emotions.
Yeah, which
you
is
see what I'm saying?
emotional.
Like I unlock these things when there is a transaction here where it's like, okay, even if I'm low functioning, what picks up my slack is the ability to be high value.
There you go.
And then, which goes back to my point to, a woman won't do that for a man.
Drinking and driving is a decision that could change your whole world. You can face a life-altering injury or potentially death. Your decision to drink and drive could permanently change someone else's world, whether you injure them or leave their loved ones grieving. The next time you're out drinking, call a rideshare, taxi, a sober friend, or a designated sober driver. The only decision that will change your world for the better is the decision to call a sober ride. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
And that's just the reality.
Won't do what part?
She won't go to the depths of understanding like, yo, even though I have a high functioning man, if he doesn't provide value, then that function will run its course. Because if you're dealing with a high function and a high value woman, as we've identified her to be, those things will then need that matched. And more times than not saying that it's not capable or incapable of happening, these things have a deadline where it's like, okay, what are we really doing?
But I also, that goes to my point of saying that pain needs things, trauma needs things, healing wants. So when you have a woman who is healed and ain't perfect, okay, not perfect, just healed, done the work, she would be able to sustain any relationship that she's in with another human, regardless of where they are, functionality, value-wise, who is also just willing to sustain it, because she doesn't need him to do anything. She knows how to attach to the things that she wants in him. And from the beginning of meeting him, before we got to being married and being intimate, I've already identified, I want that, and that in you. We're talking about now not tangible things. I want these things in you. These 5-hour conversations we have all night after I've seen clients for 12 hours, baby, that recharges me to get up and kill the day. That's more important to me. I'm just speaking, maybe it's not me, but that's important to me.
You speaking.
When I come home and I'm able just to lay up under you, and you're funny as hell and start joking, and I wasn't in no mood to joke, but you light me up, that's what I want in you. That's what I want. And so my healed part is picking the parts that are now feeding the healed in me. So I don't really need you to do anything outside of the functionality that I'm wanting from you. Now, when you come in and say, I say to you, baby, I want to go to Bora Bora, and you say, you know, daddy can't afford that, right? Do I turn and say, you ain't daddy? Hold on. Or do I do like Monique does with her husband and still call you daddy? Now, if you're asking me, subjective, whoever I choose, wherever he is, high or low or medium value, I hope he's a hybrid like myself, he's daddy, and I love him. And I'm choosing from a place of being healed now, so I'm choosing what I know that I want long-term and not need for the season that my pain is in. See, I chose my ex-fiancés based on what the abandoned young woman needed in that season. I had no idea what I wanted. Healing introduces you to what you want. Pain and trauma eclipse what you want. It's always there, eclipse that. So as a woman now, do I want a man who is high functioning and high value and all those things? I mean, that would be great, but if I met a man who had what I wanted, not because I don't need it, but what I wanted, would I treat him any different than a man who's a billionaire? I'm gonna treat him better, because it's not because I have money and I don't need the money. I'm saying that when you think of longevity, okay, this is the problem. People are picking for the season. I'm not, but I'm 35 and I'm in my prime, and I want to live a certain quality of life and I want to go on trips. That's what you want at 35, baby. But you ain't made it to 50 or 60 yet. And this is where what you were saying as far as you have wise counsel around you. You got women like your mama who would say, baby, listen, you might choose him at 35, but that man ain't going to be
with him at 55.
Hello.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. So my thing is, a healed woman or man, we're choosing now for 55, 60, and 70, and 80. I'm choosing now the father for my kids. I'm not getting pregnant and then going, Cam, so you don't change diapers? These are conversations, these are foreplay conversations to me when I'm dating you. It's, so how do you feel about kids? What religion do you feel our kids should be? Do you think private school or this?
Just drop the big bag on private school.
But for me, that's what I'm saying, the functionality does matter. For me, these conversations are foreplay.
Yeah.
So do you believe in discipline? Are you gonna get mad if our kids have a black mom in the house and I say, get your ass off the couch? Is that a problem with you because you cursed at my kid? See, this is foreplay for me. So when I say conversations that are high functioning look like that for me, if this is feeding me and we end up married, that means you've already fed me enough where I believe you can take me to 50, 60. Not you can take my 41-year-old self to freaking Paris and buy me a Birkin and I can shine for the season. And then in your words, it runs its course. If I'm choosing for today, whatever our intention is what manifests. If I'm choosing for a meal ticket or if I'm looking for you to have an investment baby with, because that happens too, let's keep it 100.
A lot.
Okay, so then once we get together and I'm left as a single mama, knowing my intent was to get pregnant anyways, why am I gaslighting you? When I knew my intent was to come in. I didn't tell you my intent, but I knew what my intent was. I'm trying to get the bag. So we only lasting my intention, not yours. My intention runs its course. I get the baby, I get the bag, and you not there. Now I'm going, Cam's horrible. He ain't no good father. I'm just saying from that situation.
I can't relate. Let's just change that name because
that's
folks
fine. But what I'm trying to explain is it runs its course.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And so for women who are choosing from a place of being healthy, we're choosing from what we want. And what we want, not just for today, what we want long-term in a partner. And again, your trauma will always choose what it needs to be fed now, which means your ego says, I need the limelight, so I'm gonna choose him for that. I need the trips. I need whatever I never had. I need to not feel abandoned right now. And this Cam's giving me the attention for my abandonment to feel cushioned. Let me choose that. And then what happens is I choose it once, it becomes a cycle. Women get comfortable in the dysfunction, which was already what I was choosing from in the first place. And so I'm gonna go ahead and just nest in dysfunction, knowing that I can't get nowhere in this. Because whether dysfunction runs its course or it keeps running its course, either way, it's unhealthy.
See, this is where, and we gotta keep moving forward, but I would say this. To that point that you just made, I think men find or should find a lot of value in resumes of women to say, you mean to tell me you don't got nobody that your parents ain't, your auntie ain't, your closest friend, she ain't in a relationship? Okay, cool. But also as a woman, I'm about to procreate with a man. He already got multiple kids that he's not taking care of. Where's the accountability? So you are literally saying, I'm going to be the difference maker in this situation.
And how often does that happen?
A lot.
How often does that person become the difference maker?
No.
None. It almost never happens.
So I will move this discussion right along. Curious to know, have you ever dated outside your race?
I have.
Okay.